Hey guys, today we are talking about that topic, that one thing all of you are asking me about. How do I connect with my angels? How do I get guidance from my angels? How do I receive signs from my angels? We're going to be talking about how to connect, how to get clear signs, and I'll explain as well what you're doing wrong, why it is that you may be not getting guidance or communicating, and I'll talk about the processes that I use to connect with my angels and guides. Now, one thing I want to mention, we are not going to cover every single thing in this 10-minute podcast, and that's why I'm going to be offering a free training to connect with your angels, and it's going to be a 5-day training to connect with your angels, and it's going to go much, much deeper into this. So if this is a topic that you really want to discover, you want to learn more about, you're really just want to connect with your angels and you have been trying but maybe not succeeding, then this 5-day training will go so much deeper into this. But today, let's talk about connecting with your angels. So firstly, well, let's talk about what you're doing wrong, first of all, because maybe that's a good place to start. So when people come to me and they're saying, I'm not connecting with my angels, I'm not getting signs, I'm not getting guidance, the first thing I ask them is, what questions have you been asking? Because the questions are super important. And have you been listening? So I always compare it to a conversation that you would have with a friend. And for me, it's like I see people talking to their angels, and most of the time they're not really asking questions, they're just complaining. So they're complaining, angels, why is my life so terrible? Why am I experiencing this? I hate experiencing this, and this isn't what I want. And they're just complaining and giving out to their angels. So if you could imagine, if you had a friend and you're just giving out and you're just saying all this stuff, is that friend going to stick around for long? Probably not. Maybe if they're a really good friend, they'll bear with you and they'll listen. And the angels do. They listen to us and they have infinite patience. But it's not the best form of communication. So when we're communicating with our angels, first of all, asking the right questions, opening up to the angel guidance. So if we're saying to the angels, angels, I want to meet the man of my dreams, that's not really asking a question. It's stating something and it's stating what you want, which is great. But you have to say to the angels, angels, how do I open up to receiving love into my life? Or, what can you guide me to do or to say or to be in order to meet somebody who I will have a relationship with and who I'll be happy with? So it's asking those open-ended questions, being really open to their guidance. And then, as with that conversation with a friend, you want to sit and listen, to pause, to let them answer. And this is where most of us are going wrong, because we're just talking, talking, talking. And then we go about our day. We'll maybe have a rant at the angels and then go about our day and not give time for the angels to respond. And if, when you're having a conversation, if you can imagine, say you're talking to somebody and you're like saying all this stuff to them and you're explaining that you're in this situation and you need an answer, and then they're about to answer you and you walk off and you start doing something else and they think, oh, that's a bit strange, they're not letting me answer. And then you come back to them maybe a day later and you start ranting and saying, I can't believe this hasn't been solved and it's still going on, and they're about to answer you, and then you walk off and start doing something else. So if we want to get guidance from our angels, if we want to receive guidance, we have to make space to receive those answers, to sit in silence, to, even if you don't meditate, I highly recommend meditating, but if you don't meditate, to go for a walk in nature without your earphones in, without listening to music or having any other distractions, or listening to a podcast, without going with somebody else, going for a walk on your own, being in nature. And that's a beautiful way to receive guidance from the angels, because when you're in nature, you're aligned with the energy of nature and it's easier for the angels to communicate with you. So just consider, okay, are you talking at the angels and not allowing space for them to talk back to you? Or are you having a conversation with them? Are you having an open, loving conversation with them? So if you're the former, if you're talking at the angels, if you're always giving them demands or ranting, then maybe just start to alter the way you're talking to your angels. And then there's the other side of it. If you're pleading with your angels, saying, angels, please give me a sign, I'm not receiving signs, the energy that you're putting out there is of not receiving signs. And the law of attraction is going to take precedent here. So if you're saying to your angels, please, can I have a sign? I'm not getting a sign. What's the energy that you're putting out there? The energy is an energy of lack. Okay. So can you imagine you've asked for a sign and you've received it? How are you going to feel? You're going to feel really grateful. You're going to feel really happy. You're going to feel on top of the world. And this happened to one of my clients where she was asking for signs. She wasn't getting any signs. And I explained a process that she could do to get clear signs from her angels. And of course, when she received it, she contacted me. She was on top of the world. She was like, Sandra, I got my sign. And this happened not just with one client, but so many clients of mine. And they've come back to me and they're like, I actually got my sign and I was so happy. And they're like, they're just delighted and they're so happy. So you have to embody that energy of already having it. And I know it's so hard to do when you're feeling energy of lack and you're feeling, well, I don't already have it. And where is it? Where is my sign? But you have to get to that space, even if you can connect with it for a moment and think, well, if I did have a sign or if I did have an answer, what would that feel like? And think, okay, well, yeah, that would probably feel like a relief. It would probably feel really good. It would probably feel really happy and joyful, and just start connecting with that energy. So there's so many ways we can connect with the angels. We can connect with them, as I said, through meditation. One of the ways I love is through writing. My go-to practice is when I'm writing, allowing the information just to pour through me. We can connect with the angels through our senses, through the sense of touch, through the sense of smell. There's so many things we can do, and the angels love to mix it up. They love to communicate with us in different ways, to give us messages in different ways. They love to surprise and delight us. But if we're busy going about our lives and we're not really too sure how our angels communicate with us, then we might miss those signs. And this is something that I've encountered before where people have been saying to me, I'm not getting signs. And I've been with a friend where they're saying, this is the sign I've asked for. I'm like, I'm not getting it. And as we were going on our journey together, I was seeing this sign. I was seeing the sign everywhere. And they weren't seeing it. They were driving the car and they were oblivious to these signs that they told me they were asking for. And I was seeing them everywhere because I was attuned to what to look out for and attuned to receiving. But meanwhile, they're thinking, well, I'm not getting it. And therefore, the law of attraction delivers that and they're not noticing it. So it's not that you're not receiving signs. It's not that your angels aren't communicating with you. They most certainly are. But maybe you have been ignoring it. Maybe you've been missing it. Maybe it's that you've been too busy to actually allow that communication to happen. And that's all fine. It's just a process of learning how your angels communicate with you. Because I find that my angels communicate in a certain way. And I can take you through a process where you'll discover what unique way your angels communicate with you. Maybe it is through a sign, maybe it is through meditation, maybe it's through words, maybe it's through writing. But until you know the way your angels like to communicate with you, then you might be missing it. So it could be that I could be going around asking for signs all day long. And well, I get loads of signs, but my go-to is writing. So I will sit down and I'll just let the guidance pour through me onto the page. So I know that that's how I prefer to communicate with them. But of course, there are so many things that we can do. So as I said, we're not going to go into this right now because we could be here for a few hours. But what I'm offering you is the chance to go deeper into this with me during a 5-day process where we'll meet each day for 5 days. This is completely free of charge. I will take you through the processes. We'll start off by going through little techniques, little processes. I'll be giving you tips. I'll also explain, we'll go further into why you might not be receiving signs. And we're going to do a process to help release all of that. And we'll start communicating with the angels. By the end of it, you will be communicating with your angels. You'll be receiving guidance. You will have clear communication. You'll know how your angels communicate with you. And it's so exciting because once you open up to that, once you realize, oh, actually my angels are here. They are supporting me. They are helping me. They are guiding me. it just opens up a whole new realm of opportunity, and your life can transform in the most magical and wonderful ways. And I want that for you. I want you to know that the angels are real, they are there for you, they are communicating with you. A lot of you are emailing me and contacting me on Instagram and Facebook, and you're saying, well, I talk to my angels, but I'm not really sure they're there, or I'm not really trusting that they're receiving my prayers or my questions. So we're going to make sure that you trust in your connection, you have clear guidance, you know for certain that your angels are supporting you, because that just changes everything and it opens up, as I said, that whole new world of opportunity for you. So consider what you want to get out of this, because once you set your intention, it'll superpower the training. And I'm going to put a link below to it so that you can sign up for it to make sure that you get the reminder when it starts. And it is going to be, oh, and by the way, we are starting on the 6th of January, and I've chosen this date because there's a cosmic planetary alignment coming up that syncs with that week, and the energy is going to be huge. There's like portals opening up, and that veil is going to be really thin, so it's going to help with that communication process. It's going to help you connect with your angels and guides, and it's just going to be phenomenal. So I can't wait for you to join us, and I hope that you will get so much out of this. I know you will get so much out of this, and I will see you on the 6th of January.